The story begins with a sense of fear on Earth. All countries put aside their differences and united to form the ESD, Earth Space Defense System. 20 years prior, there was a major alien attack where humans defeated the aliens. From the parts of a crashed alien ship, people understood alien technology and found a way to counter it. The ESD established its headquarters in America's secret location, Area 51. With the help of alien tech, humans also built their own flying saucers, establishing bases on the moon and some outer planets. However, Earth's inhabitants were unaware that some aliens were still watching them. Former President Whitmore constantly had dreams about this. In his dreams, a strange spherical object appeared. Meanwhile, at Area 51, General Adams was called for an emergency. The aliens captured 20 years ago, who had always been unconscious, suddenly woke up and trembled in their cages. General Adams wanted to discuss this with the ESD director, but the director wasn't there. Director David was in Africa, where he met with Chief Umbutu of an African tribe and his army, who wielded alien weapons instead of bows and arrows. Alien bones were scattered around their headquarters. The local people were not happy to see David, but before things could escalate, Catherine intervened, saying David was with her. Catherine was already working there. She then showed David the ship that had landed on Earth during the first attack. 10 years ago, the locals fought the aliens who emerged from the ship, and Umbutu said that 2 days ago, the ship's lights suddenly turned on. They also found a large crater nearby, revealing that the aliens intended to drill into the Earth to destroy the entire planet. But as soon as the mothership was blown up, they suddenly stopped. When everyone went inside the ship, they saw the computer sending a signal, which David recognized as a distress call, meaning the ship was calling for other aliens to attack Earth. The dangerous part was that someone had already responded to this signal. During this time, General Adams received news that a base on another planet had been completely destroyed. This news put everyone on red alert. In Africa, David received the emergency news, but Catherine was still trying to understand the gold drawings. Umbutu, like the former president, kept seeing that spherical object in his dreams. Everyone was trying to understand what it was. Meanwhile, at the moon base, people were terrified when their surroundings suddenly became very strange. Out of nowhere, a spherical machine appeared, exactly like what Umbutu had seen in his dreams. They sent a signal to the president and David. David understood that it must be a spaceship. President Lanford said they should attack first, but David said these didn't look like the previous aliens. Perhaps they were a different kind of alien and had come with good intentions. Lanford said they should vote on it, and the vote was in favor of attacking. Upon receiving the order, Commander Jiang activated a large weapon on the moon and easily shot down the flying saucer. David said, "Well, we've shot it down. Now let's see what it's made of. What technology is inside it?" Lanford agreed and prepared to send a team of scientists. Lanford announced to the public that they had saved Earth from another alien attack. Whitmore, watching all this on TV, was frightened because he somehow believed these weren't those aliens. So he tried to warn everyone. Patricia told him to calm down and trust the new president. Whitmore listened to her and went to sleep. But when Patricia checked later, she saw her father wasn't there. Meanwhile, a pilot named Jake arrived in a spaceship to pick up David and his companions to bring them from Africa to the moon to examine the debris of the spherical flying saucer. After much searching in the broken debris of the ship, they found a completely intact piece, and Jake began preparing to lift it. On Earth, in America, celebrations were underway commemorating the victory of the First War. But then Whitmore interrupted Lanford's speech, warning everyone. Suddenly, he felt a sharp pain and collapsed. The same thing was happening to Umbutu at that moment. On the moon, people were stunned when a new alien mothership suddenly appeared and began moving towards the lunar surface. Those examining the spaceship quickly re-entered their ship as the entire area began to shake violently with the mothership's arrival. Jake and David barely escaped, and made it to the ship just in time. Jake took control of the ship, and his friend Charlie tried to lift the discovered piece with the help of robotic arms. After much effort, it worked, but as they were leaving, they realized that the mothership had its own gravity field, pulling them towards it. Jiang then ordered one of his pilots to activate the large weapon, but it had no effect on the mothership. The mothership retaliated, destroying the weapon. Jiang told everyone to evacuate the entire base as quickly as possible. But by then, the mothership had destroyed a large part of the moon along with the base. The ESD activated its orbital defense system, but this mothership was much more powerful than the previous one. It destroyed everything in its path and began entering Earth's atmosphere, causing several cities to be devastated. People and buildings were flung into the air. David calculated that the ship wanted to enter the ocean. Perhaps they had figured out that it would be easier to drill to Earth's core from there, because the ocean was already quite deep. Meanwhile, Jake was flying the ship, barely saving it from falling buildings and dangerous debris. Lanford ordered the evacuation of all cities near the ocean, but the message didn't reach some boats in time. David's father, Julius, was fishing in the ocean at that time. When he saw the ship, he immediately called David and said that this ship was much larger than the previous one. But then another boat collided with Julius's boat. The aliens, who were then confined in cages, went mad. When David and others arrived, Whitmore secretly went into a sealed room. He released an alien from captivity so he could talk to it. The alien used its tentacles to grab Whitmore, then possessed his body and began talking to everyone else. It kept repeating that she has arrived. She has arrived. Catherine showed the alien the circular mark and asked what it meant. The alien became very angry. The soldiers understood that the alien's anger could kill Whitmore, so they shot at the alien. The bullets didn't do much, but then Ubuntu arrived and attacked the alien with his blades. The large body was just armor. When it broke, the real small alien emerged, and Ubuntu immediately killed it. During this time, in a car by the sea, some children who had lost their parents in the disaster were looking for a place to hide. Amidst the debris, they found Julius's broken boat, where he lay unconscious. Seeing that the man was alive, they took him with them. The Area 51 team began scanning the mothership, which made David realize that she has arrived meant the queen of these aliens had arrived. Their system was just like bees. All others were workers, and there was one queen. On the other side, a modern aircraft sent a live feed from under the ocean, showing the mothership drilling beneath the sea. These aliens wanted to reach Earth's core, and if they succeeded, the entire Earth would be destroyed. Lanford launched a mission to find and eliminate the Queen as soon as possible, and all pilots were ready. Drones would go first to disable the mothership's shields. Then came the bombing aircraft, which would try to eliminate the Queen as quickly as possible. When the pilots approached the mothership activated its defense system. All pilots tried their best to defend themselves, but that ship had many more weapons than the previous one, and it was very difficult to get close to it. Jake said that entering the ship was the last option. Dylan also agreed that it was dangerous but had to be done. So Adams finally gave permission to go inside and told the other pilots to help these two. When all the jets entered the ship, everyone was stunned by the sight because there was an entire world inside. At that moment, Whitmore woke up and began telling his daughter Patricia that the Queen knew they were coming this time. Patricia immediately went to Adams and told him it was a trap. But it was too late. Suddenly, a special wave emanated from inside the mothership, disabling all the jets. But by then, in an attempt to complete the mission, they had released the bombs. However, the explosion did nothing to the Queen, because she had an energy shield around her. Then another wave emerged from the alien system, which was so powerful that it disabled all satellites, the Area 51 base, and even the President's bunker. The mothership took advantage of this opportunity and attacked the bunker, killing Lanford and everyone present there. A little later, military leaders arrived at Area 51 and declared Adams the new U.S. president. Inside the mothership, Jake, Dylan, and some other pilots also survived the incident. So now they had to quickly hide so they wouldn't be caught. At the base, a scientist, using a powerful laser, opened the piece that David and his companions had found from the debris of that spherical spaceship on the moon. From inside, a strange sphere emerged, resembling a large ball. A scientist named Floyd stepped forward and touched the sphere. In a few seconds, the sphere grabbed Floyd's hand, after which the sphere activated and began talking to Floyd in English, which it had learned from Floyd's mind. As soon as that sphere activated, the Queen received its signal and began preparing to destroy it. The Queen put on a very large piece of armor, and the pilots saw the top of the mothership separating. Meanwhile, the sphere explained that they had come to warn humans that this danger was approaching them. But they had attacked them without thinking. It explained that they had fought these aliens before. Actually, this mothership runs on very advanced technology, and they steal the cores of different planets. The sphere explained that it was the last survivor from its planet. Everything else was gone, and it contained very advanced technology. The sphere also explained that on a hidden planet, it trains those who survive these alien attacks so that they can fight these aliens in the future. That's why the alien was scared upon seeing the mark of this sphere. But now, after the sphere's activation, the Queen could track its location. David said that since they knew the Queen would come there, they could also set a trap, just as she had trapped them. Now they just needed a way to track the Queen, because their new tracking system had been damaged by the Queen. Then Adams revealed that he had an old radar truck from the previous war. It might still work. Adams and David talked to some surviving pilots and explained that since the satellites were down, someone would have to go and blast the bombs themselves. This meant that the pilot who went would not be able to return. His life was destined to be lost in the explosion. Patricia wanted to do this job. But Whitmore intervened and said he would go. His daughter strongly objected, but he didn't listen. During this time, Julius regained consciousness and told the brother-sister pair to take him to Area 51. But their car didn't have much fuel. Because of this, the car suddenly started moving very slowly. On the way, they stopped for gas and found a school bus full of children whose driver had abandoned them. Julius quickly got into the driver's seat and started driving towards Area 51 with all the children. Inside the mothership, the pilots found an alien hangar. Jake stepped forward to distract the aliens. He also swore and started urinating on the floor so that the aliens' attention would be entirely on him, during which his friends would steal the alien jets. The aliens were very angry at Jake's antics and started showering him with bullets. But before Jake could be hit, the other pilots flew away with the jets and picked up Jake too. Then the aliens started chasing them and closing the doors. The pilots were barely defending themselves and somehow getting out, and finally they managed to escape before the ship's doors closed. At the base, everyone was fully prepared to attack. Patricia, seeing her father leave, decided to help by flying a jet with him, despite his objections. At that moment, Julius arrived with a bus full of children. Just then, the Queen also arrived with her army. Now a new war began between the Area 51 base and the aliens. There was intense firing from both sides. David had created a fake signal like the sphere, so that the Queen would chase this fake signal, and she fell into this trap. Patricia reached her father in her jet and said a final goodbye because his life was destined to be lost in this mission. Whitmore quickly entered the Queen's ship and blasted the bombs. For a moment, everyone thought they had won the war. But even if the Queen died, the other aliens were still fighting. They also blew up the largest weapon at the base. After the smoke cleared, it was revealed that the Queen was still alive because she had protected herself with her energy shield. At that moment, all the soldiers on the ground returned to the base to protect the sphere from the aliens. On the other side, the pilots started continuous attacks on the Queen. but no attack could damage her shield. Then Patricia noticed that when the Queen attacks, she removes her shield for a few seconds. Patricia took advantage of this opportunity and shot at the Queen's weak spot, which broke the shield, and now the Queen could be killed. The Queen angrily attacked her jet, but Patricia saved her life by opening her parachute at the right moment. The Queen started chasing her, but at the same moment, Dylan and the other pilots arrived and attacked the Queen with her own technology. Inside the base, the aliens reached the sphere. The aliens sent a signal of their location to the Queen. Meanwhile, Dylan and his team lost control of the jet because the Queen could control her technology with her mind. Meanwhile, Ubuntu and Floyd also arrived to fight the aliens to save the sphere. Soon, Ubuntu and Floyd eliminated all the aliens. Now, in almost 2 minutes, the Queen would start breaking through the base's roof to reach the sphere. All the alien jets were flying around the Queen, acting as her shield. The same was true for Jake and Dylan's jets. He turned on the jets' manual thrusters, which allowed them to escape the whirlwind. As soon as the Queen entered the base, she grabbed the sphere. Meanwhile, Jake and Dylan regained control of their jet and started continuous firing on the Queen, which broke her armor. The Queen was severely injured and now began to fall, wounded. David was driving the bus with the children from the front. Then he saw the Queen about to fall on them. He quickly put the bus in reverse and narrowly escaped at the last moment. The sphere was also freed. Just like in the First War, with the death of the Queen, the drilling also stopped and the alien ships crashed to the ground. People all over the world began celebrating their second victory over the aliens.